How's it going, everybody? I am back in Fallout 4. Again, I'm at Red Rocket. I'm going to do a little bit more of an in-depth tour of the settlement so that you guys can see everything and so I can explain everything a little bit. Uh, I'm going to be doing a daytime tour at first, and then I'll be showing you guys the settlement at night. I'll probably do that silently since this is just a tour of the settlement. But uh, first thing, I guess I'll explain some of the stuff on the outside. I just got a junk wall built around the front of the Red Rocket. It's to close off the area where like the inn is, where the like rooms are that people can rent out. All I did was I placed some like actual walls down, placed down some junk walls, and then used stuff from Aslam's junk wall pack scattered around on the wall as well. It makes it look nice and scrappy. But I got this. It's kind of inspired by No Respawn's Red Rocket build that he did a while back. But you can see it's nice and lit up in there. I wanted the place to have a nice like glow at night, so that when you see it from a distance, it's just kind of glowing. Uh, but also, I wanted it to look nice and scrappy and well defended as well. I had a guard up there someplace. Don't know where they went now. I also have a lady that's scavenging. She's just kind of walking around with a gun, so kind of looks like she's guarding. But that is the junk wall for that front part. But then also I have garden and the tavern on the other side. So I've got the garden over here, like I said, and on both the tavern and the garden, they're kind of open. I wanted to add like a junk fence slash uh, chain link fence. So right here you can see I've got some chain link to kind of have it a little bit open. People jumping up and trying to scare me, jumping on me. But that person is going to glitch through the fence right now, I guess. But just chain link fence so that's nice and open so like you can see into the garden stuff from the outside. Then I got some junk wall that goes around the building. It was slightly open right there. Can't see it now because it's nice and closed off by this massive van. But just some cars piled on this side of the wall. I'll show you guys that from the inside later. And then on this side, this is where the tavern is. There's a nice like outdoor area on this side as well. That's what this right here is. And it's nice and open, so you can't just walk straight into the settlement. So it is a little bit defended by the chain link fence. Also, since the garage door closes, they can kind of like call everybody inside, lock up the building, and then there's only one entrance on the building, and people can post up. But there's a nice open chain link fence on this side so that it just looks nice from the outside. There are doors on this building, but they're kind of impossible to click on with the HUD off. Also, dog meat is the worst. I sent him to Tempine Bluffs, and he still is sticking around Red Rocket for no reason. So, alright. If we go inside, let me close all these doors real quick. We're going to go where we need to and when we need to. So, you come in, there's a couple different ways. So, the first thing is the inn. Ring the bell, the innkeeper, which is on a scavenging mat right there, essentially behind the little uh, luggage carrier. And essentially she walks around the settlement with a freaking gun all day. There she is. So people can come up, ring, get help. And she showed up essentially right after I rang the bell, so that couldn't have worked out more perfectly. But come in, she helps you out, gets you a room and stuff. You pay whatever you need to do. Uh, and then there's only 3 rooms. Not a very big inn, but It's not really like a luxury inn. It's a wasteland inn. Scavengers set up here. They got a nice little outhouse for everyone in the settlement. Everyone goes in that same outhouse. And then we've got 3 rooms, like I was saying. All the rooms have the same decorations. Uh, these two are a little bit smaller than room one. So room one, I essentially just lined up these houses with the junk wall, so it's kind of just built into it. Got a nice floor on the road right here between the concrete and the building, so that when you come in, you're not just walking through mud and stuff. Make it look a little nicer, you know, make it a little bit nicer. And then up on the concrete, we've got the first house, or the first room. Not very fancy, like I was saying. All they've got is a radio and a lantern, some sort of container. So 2 of the rooms have dressers, and then this is someone's luggage, is what I was imagining when I threw that in here. And they got a nice stained gross bed, and then also a destroyed chair that they have scavenged from one of the nearby houses in Concord. You come in a little bit farther, there's a nice little fire barrel to give some light down here, along with the lanterns hanging across the ceiling. Well, not lanterns, the lights hanging across the ceiling. Uh, those don't actually put off very much light, so I used Omni lights from Custom Vanilla Assets. And to keep you from walking through the mud again, I just added a bunch of these shack bridges, and so that it wasn't a bunch of textures glitching and a bunch of stuff looking the same, I just threw down a bunch of plywood, and I thought that it ended up looking alright. It doesn't look like too many textures repeating. In the first house, we've got, or the second house, sorry, we've got just similar bed. They've got their luggage underneath their bed in this one. And chair, dresser, lantern, radio. Pretty standard for each room. And then the third room, these are much smaller than the first one, like I was telling you. Mainly because we have these pillars shooting through the roof. But on this third one, person's got their luggage in here as well. They've got a nice little chair. Nicer bed, a little less stained, I would say. Container, like a little bit of a dresser or whatever. Lantern, and a radio. And then we've got an upstairs, which is just like a nice little chilling area, I guess, for the people staying in the inn. You got a nice little overlook of all the rooms, as well as outside of the house, or outside of the area, outside of the walls. Got a little walkway, so people guarding the settlement can also get up here if there was an attack. They've got a little chair as well that they can sit on up here. I've actually seen somebody up here in the last tour that I did in the build video. There was somebody actually sitting up here, and you can see that this has got a view out over this area and another road coming in, and then a window that looks out on the road on this side. You can also see Sanctuary from here as well. It's not quite loaded in my build, but I have a huge treehouse over there. Well, not necessarily treehouse, just kind of a city around a tree that is just kind of massive. But this is the inn area of the settlement. This settlement took a while to build. This was probably a majority of it, just because it was so much place. The walls took forever, and then each of these buildings did too. Individually placing all the walls and everything like that. It was kind of difficult. But that is the inn. The next thing I'll show you guys is the tavern. So apparently the guy is not going to actually be at the tavern right now. I don't know where he actually went. But usually he's standing right behind this uh, counter that I made. It's similar to the one that's added using Workshop Decoration Pack, I think, but it's different. I made it my own. I just have some supplies kind of scattered around. That's something that you'll see that I do often. If there's just stuff kind of, if there's some opening in the settlement, I usually will place down some barrels and boxes and stuff to kind of make it look a little bit more filled in. So this is the tavern. You can see I've got a couple tables in here. People have been eating and coming through and stuff. All of this decoration is actually from uh, custom crafting stations. It's a mod that is just amazing. It's made by the same mod creator that made Posters of the Commonwealth. I recently downloaded it. No. I'll talk to those people later. But, yeah, it's really awesome decoration. This is amazing. This, meat hooks with the, like, big slabs of meat and stuff. I just put it right next to the stove. That's super cool. And these shelves look amazing. They're the coolest thing ever. It's essentially another clutter pack or like a junk pack or whatever or decoration pack, but he has it as crafting stations, so like you can put a mat underneath this and then your person will look like they're like cooking or doing whatever. There's different ones for each of the options. Like a big speaker in here because it's a party, and like I said before, you can always close this up. And then out here, this is where the actual like partying takes place pretty much. This is the most exciting spot of the settlement, I would say. Uh, they've got a fire there, tables and I guess not just tables, boxes and barrels and seats everywhere. Tons of booze. I guess not tons. There could be more, but that's where they hang out the most, I would say. But that is the tavern now that the guy is actually attending the counter. And then this is the area where the employees live. It's supposed to be employees only, but people walk in and out nonstop. So I've got three employees. I've got the person that does the gardening, I've got the innkeeper, and I've got the bartender. So they all sleep back here. Uh, this is the garden. You can see it is a ghoul garden in back here. And so my original thoughts for this was before this got deleted from having some save issues, I had razor grain in here, and I have all these kegs because they actually make their own like brew of beer and stuff. But we can just say they make their own wine, I guess, uh, by using all of the stuff they have growing, all the mute fruit or mut fruit and stuff. But they've got a brewery station, or they've got a brewery back here essentially, and they brew their own beer and make their own wine in big barrels, and then they serve it at the bar. And they've got their own little eating area back here, so they don't have to eat at the bar. And with mods, this is actually a bed right here. This is where I have the farmer. The ghoul sleeps on a couch, but I feel like she has the least like important job of the whole settlement. And then back here, we've got the office slash bedroom for the innkeeper and the bartender. So they keep track of funds on their computer and their income of caps. They've got a load of supplies back here for both of their businesses. And then they've got bunk beds for them. So the guy is on the top bunk and the lady is on the bottom bunk. The innkeeper is on the bottom bunk and the bartender's on the top bunk. But that is their room. I made this bunk bed myself. I've got a bunch of bunk beds that I make. That's just the one I decided for this one. This is probably the least sturdy. Usually I'll add supports on these bottom ones to kind of make it look a little more sturdy, but I didn't do that. And then I boarded up this front window so that it looks like it's boarded up so people can't see into their like private area or their housing area. But that's the full settlement. Uh, Not a whole lot more to show you. The lady is gonna do her rounds now of scavenging. But yeah, the next thing that you guys are gonna see is a night tour. I'm gonna be quiet for that. But let me know what you guys think of this build, and let me know uh, what else you guys would like to see me build. This is actually for an entry on Discord server, or on a Discord server for cordless. I mentioned that in the actual build video, but I wanted to do a tour just for that entry. And yeah, we'll see how that goes, and hopefully everybody enjoys it. And thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.
really use your help.